Well, first of all, Your Worship, thank you for taking the time to join me and quickly talk about what is essentially your first meeting of City Council officially. Um, you had essentially a lone report on the docket tonight, aside from the sets of accounts that were presented, and that was, of course, regarding remuneration for council. Why was it important for you to get this piece of business taken care of right out of the gates?
Well, actually, a couple of reasons. It needs to be taken care of by the end of the year, for number one. And remuneration, both myself and the rest of council, we do get paid for the duties we perform. And the old bylaw was running out by the end of the year. And so we looked at this and we thought, we all, or not all of us, but quite a few of us ran on cost savings on our election campaign. And so we wanted to make sure that we started with some cost savings, and it's not huge, but it's between $1,000 and $1,500 next year savings over what we spent last year in remuneration for council and mayor. And so it's very important for us to show a little bit which direction we're looking to head with our finances here at the city.
Excellent. And just to clarify, that $1,000 to $1,500, is that a monthly savings?
Oh, I'm sorry. A thousand a month. Yes, I've been zoomed out here. Sorry there, Michael. But
Oh, no apology
it's for
necessary.
sure. It's over last year. It's for sure 1,000 a month, so 12,000 in the year, and it might even amount to a little more than that, because last year the mayor's salary last year, with his base salary of 81,000, then all the meeting rates after that, it totaled right around $90,000 in 2019. And this year we're going to do away with those meeting rates, and so it'll just stay at the $81,000. So there's 9,000 there, and that's why I said between 12 and 15,000 in the year, because each one of the counselors, when you average what the counselors were paid last year for their base salary and for all their meetings, and you average them out to what we're just giving them a base salary this year with no meeting rates, it's almost $1,000 there. So anyway, it'll be between 12 and 15,000 in total.
Awesome. And not to mention, that'll also create a bit of efficiency for administration, not processing these fees.
Yeah, any board I've ever sat on, at the end of the month, you list all the meetings you've been to, and administration has to look at the meetings and make sure, you're at the SUMA meeting this day and that day. And it's not that anybody's cheating on these meetings, but the records have to be accurate. So maybe I put a meeting down for November the 9th and it was actually the 8th, and admin has to make sure that meeting is listed that way correctly when they're paying for each individual meeting. And so this will save, and I'm not sure how many hours a month, but if there's 7 expense claims that don't have to be processed, I'm sure it's going to save 2 or 3 hours every month for one of our admin staff here.
Well, that certainly counts.
I think it does.
And in terms of the meetings themselves, this doesn't mean that you will not continue representing the citizens on these at these meetings for boards and committees.
Of course not. I mean, if council was a bunch of young teenagers that had better things to do, like skateboard and go meet their friends on a Friday night, and would blow off the meetings, that's one thing. But all of council, myself and all the rest of council, we're all adults. We're all contributing members to our community, and it's important to us whether we sit on council, whether we represent council on the Broncos board, our hockey club, at Elmwood, at our library board, wherever it might be. It's important to all of us to represent. So this, I think in the old days it was a bit of enticement, maybe back, but nowadays we have responsible people on council, which we've had in the past too, don't get me wrong, but it's just a more streamlined way, so they don't have to, at the end of the month, make sure every meeting's listed on the exact date and everything else. And this way they're just going to go to their meetings, whichever meetings they will have to, because all of council, we're all going to be at council meetings. Obviously, we're going to have committee meetings here at city council or at city hall for council, plus each one of the council members will be sitting on, I think there's another 24 or 25 different boards. So between, if you take 6 council members and they're each going to have 4 boards to sit on, some are light duty boards like naming of streets, that only happens every few years, but some other boards happen every month, like the library board or the Parks and Rec, or those sorts of things. So they have other commitments other than the time we see them on Zoom twice a month or in council chambers twice a month. So I don't have no issue with them not attending meetings, because we are all adults and we all want the best for our community.
Absolutely. And just one last quick question here, Your Worship. There's also a slight modification to the fee, the meeting fee that will be provided to citizens of the community for boards and committees. Did you want to comment on that at all?
Yes, I would. For years, the citizens that do sit on our boards, like the library board or the appeals board or the Parks and Rec board, they've been compensated for coming to the board meeting to the tune of $35. And for sure, this hasn't been changed since 2007, because that $35 has been in that long for sure. And I believe I was on the appeal board back in the late 80s, early 90s, and I think I was getting $35 then. So, and this money isn't you're not going to get rich sitting on the board, but this money, we're going from $35 to $50. And this is just a thank you to the citizens that sit on these boards, that take their time to care about our community. And so I think it is high time. I mean, I know that one of the reporters had mentioned that council has given themselves an increase in remuneration. They did it in 12 and they did it in 16, and now we're altering it now. It's not more, it's a little less this time. But council has made sure that they have altered their remuneration, and yet the citizens of Swift Current, that little thank you, we've kept the same for far too long. So we are moving that to $50 per meeting.
And I understand there's still time for citizens who are interested in signing up for boards and committees to do so.
There is still time. It has been advertised in the paper, but it's also on our Swift Current webpage for the city. And Michael, you would know better than me. And then there's applications you can pick up here. And there are some boards that we're still looking for citizens on. So please, if you hear this and you're interested in helping, because that's what it is. We need help at all these boards, because no one person or 7 people can do all the things that need to be done for the city. We need citizens at large and citizens from every walk of life to contribute to all these different boards for ideas and mainly ideas, and just to make the decisions how the library board should function, how the Parks and Rec should function, what's important. And these are things that are important, and we want our citizens to be part of that.
Excellent. Well, sir, just to dovetail on that, for citizens who are watching, that webpage is swiftcurrent.ca/boards if you're interested. And I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank you for your time this evening, Your Worship, and I'm sure we'll be talking again soon.
I'm sure we will. And thank you for your time and patience with me learning all this new Zoom stuff, Michael.
Oh, you're a pro. You're a pro. Thank you, sir.
Right.
Good
Thank
night.
you. Take care. Yeah.